Good afternoon, everyone. It is Saturday, August the 3rd, 2019. It is currently 3:22 p.m. Central Time, and this is a live broadcast for the VBC 66 app. I have to say this every single time, and I apologize, but these live broadcasts are being recorded, and the recordings are being posted all over the internet. So for those hearing the recordings of the live broadcast, if you would like to be able to listen to the live broadcast when they actually occur, then I would challenge you to go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store and download the VBC 66 app. The VBC 66 app. Look for VBC, which stands for Victory Baptist Church, the number 66, which stands for the number of books in the Bible. VBC 66. Do a search for that, put it all together. Download the app, and then you'll have access to everything, and you can listen to the live broadcast as well. Also, another way to keep up with everything we're doing is to download the Spreaker app. If you download the Spreaker app, then you can look for all of our content by looking for Victory Baptist Church, and you'll see our VBC podcast, our Socratic Circle podcast, our Hermeneutics podcast, our News and Focus podcast. Let's just say we have a lot of podcasts. And the reason we separate them into different things is because depending on what I'm talking about, if I think I have a specific focus, we have different sections on the VBC 66 app so that I can just then record or talk about, do a live broadcast for that particular subject, and then upload it to that specific location of the app. Just trying to make it easier to keep up with the content you're interested in and to try to help you there. So the Spreaker app or the VBC 66 app, that should help you. If you need help in finding any of these apps or finding us on the apps or anything along those lines, just email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com, and I'll be more than happy to help you find all of our content. All right. It's Saturday afternoon. About an hour ago, I think it was about an hour ago, I thought, it's Saturday afternoon. It's been a busy Saturday. I've been working on Romans chapter 2, verse 1. We're in the book of Romans at my church. We're going to probably be in a 10-year verse-by-verse study of the book of Romans. So I've been kind of working on Romans chapter 2, verse 1 today. And I thought, I need to spend some time for my own personal devotional study. And whenever I do my own personal devotional study, if the situation allows, I pick up the iPad and go live and do my own live devotional study. This is not a devotional study I prepare beforehand. It's me having my devotional time live on the air. There's strengths in that. There's weaknesses in that. But I like it. I like it. The feedback is kind of mixed, but that's okay. Hopefully over time people will understand and appreciate the approach I am taking. However, the reason I'm just now going live, and I did not actually go live an hour ago when I got ready to do my devotional study, is because, breaking news occurred. If you have not seen, there has been a mass shooting in El Paso, Texas. It appears the shooting started outside of a Walmart. Then the shooter or shooters went inside the Walmart. And then it seems that they possibly then entered a mall that's next to the Walmart there in El Paso. Preliminary reports gives us 2 shooters with AK-47 style rifles. They opened fire. Like I said, it appears outside Walmart in the parking lot, then they go inside the Walmart, and then it seems at some point they enter into the mall that is nearby. Now, the number of fatalities, it's all over the place right now. The number that seems to be absolutely confirmed is that there are at least 10 fatalities. Number of those injured, the number that has been going around on multiple sources, seems to be around 30. Now, we do not know the severity of these injuries. Are they in critical condition? Is it non-critical type injury? We do not know, but it seems at least 10. Now, I've been watching multiple news reports of this unfolding situation. The reporters at times have seemed to to want to say that there's far more than 10. I have seen some reports stating the number as high as 22. I've seen some saying the number as high as 30 fatalities. But we always have to remember when it comes to a mass shooting, the reports change literally by the minute. So right now, we don't know. They appear to have at least one individual in custody. Now, there's been lots of confusion on the news and in comment sections under news articles. Remember, having an individual in custody does not necessarily prove that that individual was one of the active shooters. It just proves that this is a person that obviously the police, sees as a suspect and involvement in some way. So according to that one person, now CNN at one point was reporting they have 3 individuals in custody. But then when the police did a update, they said 1 in custody. So we really don't know how many individuals they have in custody. I think some of the confusion is sometimes they're saying, do you have one of the shooters in custody? And so the police may be saying we have 1 individual we suspect as being the shooter in custody, but we could have 2 others who we don't suspect were shooters, but could have been involved in a different way. Who knows what exactly is going on? But let me just state it again. A mass shooting has occurred in El Paso. The shooting began outside of a Walmart. It appeared it went inside the Walmart and then transferred over to a mall that is nearby. The ongoing number that seems to be pretty much agreed upon by all news sources is 10 fatalities. 10 individuals have lost their lives today while simply going shopping at a Walmart or a mall. Possibly 30 others. Some say 20. I'm reading a report right now on my TV screen. 22 victims sent to area hospitals. Again, the numbers are all over the place. What can you say? What can you say? I mean, that's really the question. What can you say in a situation like this? I watched a lot of comments under news articles and immediately, let's blame President Trump. He's the reason for this. Well, how about let's blame the shooter? All right. Let's blame guns. Okay. Well, before we have the gun issue, can we just blame the shooter? Can we just blame the individual who went inside this store, outside this store, and killed human beings? They deserve the blame, first and foremost, okay? And from a Christian perspective, I saw lots of comments and articles. What is wrong with people? Well, what is wrong with people is what's wrong with all of us. We are sinners by nature. We are depraved sinners. And murder is a very old sin. Killing other people is a very old sin. The biblical perspective, obviously, we know Cain and Abel, right? We have murder very early on, okay? So murder is a common reality due to our depravity. So from a Christian perspective, what's wrong with people is depravity. The issue is depravity. The blame should be first and foremost placed on the shooter and not on everything else. I've seen blame placed on everything today and listening to people comment. And all of that is just foolishness. Now you get to the gun debate and then people lose their minds and all touch of reality ceases to happen. Here's the thing. Individuals keep dying in the United States of America at the hands of guns. All right? And when I say at the hands of guns, obviously human beings are picking up those guns. I understand that. And you'll hear all kinds of arguments. And it just drives me crazy how illogical people become. Someone will say, well, we need better gun laws. And people say, well, criminals don't follow gun laws. Well, by that logic, criminals don't follow murder laws. So we should get rid of murder laws. Rapists don't follow rape laws. So we should get rid of rape laws. So, if your argument is we should only have a law if a law supposedly, quote unquote, works, well, then we would be throwing out laws all the time. So, you got to think these things through logically. I think that I think any honest person here in the United States of America would have to acknowledge this. America has a lot of guns, all right? Americans have lots of guns. So whatever laws you pass, let's be honest, you're not going to instantaneously remove guns from the hands of the United States, from citizens in the United States of America. For one reason, there are countless millions of guns that people own, and you're not going to start going around taking them from people. That would lead to a very, very, very bad situation. And not only that, we still clearly have a constitution that, as interpreted by the Supreme Court, does protect the right of people to bear arms. Until that is changed, then you can pass all the laws you want, but you're not going to immediately see a change, because people own guns in large numbers, and those guns obviously get transferred and can be sold in all kinds of different ways. So there's no easy solution to this problem. There is no easy solution to this problem. And I just want to make this clear from a biblical perspective. Now, this should not be an argument. I think here's the thing: you're trying to have any sensible argument about guns, people lose their minds. But I think we should at least be able to acknowledge this from a Christian perspective. Removing guns will not remove sinful nature. So if they don't have a gun, people will use other means. Cain killed Abel before there was a gun. All right, I think we can all acknowledge that. However, sinful nature plus gun. Sometimes it confuses me, because Christians who so believe that I believe in total depravity. I believe every person is a sinner, and I believe every sinner should own multiple guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Sometimes I think that's a contradiction too. But my problem is, when I talk about guns, I take off everyone. I take off Christians, I take off non-Christians, I take off conservatives, I take off liberals, and my goal is not to take people off. My goal is to say that these are complicated issues, and you got to take each part of each issue carefully into consideration. So it's just another sad day, and I just felt like I can't really just go into a devotional study without at least acknowledging what is happening in our world. I mean, it's a problem, and our culture is incapable of having answers, and I understand that, because the culture cannot resolve the depravity problem. They cannot. And that's just the reality. That's the reality. And so you have people who don't accept human depravity, and let's be fair, they still want a solution. I mean, I would hope that everyone, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, that we could set aside all of those differences and all say that we have one thing in agreement. We have one thing in agreement. We want people to stop being shot and killed in the United States of America. Let's find some common ground. How we work that out and how we accomplish that, yes, I completely agree. There's not any easy answers, and it's just a sad thing. So just... I wish I had better answers, but there aren't good answers. There's just lots of problems, and I feel bad, and I pray for those who are injured that they'll be okay. You know, I guess the reality is this: we have at least, at a minimum, of 10 individuals who went shopping today. They're not going to go back home. And so right now, there's families who have lost a father, who have lost a son, who may have lost a daughter or lost a mother. And there's families that are going to be torn apart, and there's going to be possibly some children getting ready to start school, and they're going to be going to school dealing with the reality that they no longer have a parent who was killed in a senseless shooting while they were possibly at Walmart or at the mall doing some school clothes shopping. And that just shows the fallen world that we live in. And I would argue that for those who don't like to speak in moral absolutes, we should all be able to agree that when an individual walks into a place like this and kills human beings, that's evil. And if your worldview does not have a morality that you can be dogmatically and say that's an evil act, then I think you need to readdress your moral perspective. From a Christian perspective, I can say that is evil, that is ungodly, that is wrong, and we should all be able to agree on that. All right, I just wanted at least to address it. Again, for those who hear a recording of this, I was recording this on Saturday, August the 3rd, 2019. As I'm currently speaking, it is 3:37 p.m. Central Time. If I gave the wrong time at the beginning, I apologize. But that gives you kind of the perspective. This all started, I think it all started around 11 a.m. I think it may have been 11 a.m. Central Time is when it all started. I didn't see the reports till about an hour